Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw. What If? Welcome back to another What If story. Last time on What If Ducky was Zuko? Reincarnation? Reincarnation. Momo and Zuko entered the Cork Blast tournament. Their first match, that was a easy match for them. As the second match was Kirishima Mina. That was a little more challenging than the first, but it still wasn't no match for Zuko. And Zuko was quite surprised and impressed by Momo's leaps in her training that she's gone through. But unknowns to Zuko, his match is being carefully watched by Iroh and Inko as she finally made it to the tournament after Iroh called her. As they found out their last matches with the Todoroki twins, Shoto Todoroki and Lulu Todoroki, as they both have a half and half quirk. If I said differently, I'm just gonna do it this way because it's a lot more better this way. So, because they're twins, they have similar quirks and endeavors. Like having one weapon is good enough, but having two of them would be. So yeah, what happened to Shoto and Canon happened in the story with a extra person involved in the harsh training. Inko sees the Todoroki twins as she sees Zuko and Momo enter the ring. Well, this is going to be an interesting fight. Yeah, speak of the devil. He's up there. As as Inko sees an endeavor, looking down in the ring, yelling Shoto, the whole, Shoto and Lulu. The whole, what he does as both the twins does, gag and roll their eyes. As before the matches begin, as Lulu put her hand in front of Shoto. You handle your fiance. I want to have some quality time with Zuko. He's mine. Okay, I'll let you take Zuko. Kind of feel sorry for the guy, because out of this, who's strongest between us two, it's you, sis. Of course I'm stronger than you, because you refuse to use your fire. It's not going to use his power. You're an idiot. Let's get ready. Alright, Momo, you know what to do. As they came up with a strategy before the match. As soon as they called the match, as the Todoroki twins tried to separate Izuku and Momo, Zuko and Momo, Zuko knew that they were going to try this. Immediately, Zuko appeared in front of Momo as he breathes in a deep breath. As Zuko shoots fire out of his mouth, as the Todoroki twins had to jump on opposite sides. As Momo rushes over there to Todoroki, as she creates her bow staff in mid charge, as she begins fighting Todoroki, as she based off her, she's ready for his ice. So she has she's going to create a lot of devices in during this time frame. Immediately, there was an ice wall blocking Zuko from Momo as he looks over to Lulu. I don't think so, Zuko. I want your full attention. As she winks at him. You have Momo as she's battling Todoroki as Todoroki was about to throw some ice as Momo used the bow staff to hit him in the back of the knee. As she kicks him side of the head as he goes flying back a little bit. As you hop over to the other side of the arena, as Zuko and Lulu are fighting, as Zuko is just casually dodging her hits, as immediately she jumps off. Sorry, as Lulu does a backflip, as Zuko leans backwards, as he barely misses getting kicked in the chin, as he barely misses that, as Zuko jumps backwards, lands on his feet as he gets into a stance. As she immediately starts throwing ice after waves of ice at Izuku. Zuko. It's gonna. I'm so used to I'm so used to seeing either saying Izuku or Deku, but in this what if his name's Zuko? So what he goes by. But anyway, so let's get on to it. As Zuko is blasting fire using fire bending, blasting the ice away. Immediately, Izuku points his hand to the side of the wall. Oh, point his hand to the wall, points it to the far the upper right, as he throws a fire blast, melting right through that right through the wall, as it was aimed strictly at Shoto. As Shoto was about to knock Momo out of the ring. As that gave Momo enough distraction, as immediately she threw some flashbangs that she created before the mat, before she went and fought Shoto, as that blinded him, as she begins, a couple combination, as Shoto gets kicked out of the ring. As when Inko saw the look on Endeavor's face when his son lost to his fiancée, it was priceless. That put a bright smile on Inko's face. That was very hilarious to her. As she continues to watch the fight with the last Todoroki there is in the ring. As Lulu looks back at Zuko, I was like, well, my brother's out of the match. I guess I should probably take this a little more seriously. As Lulu gets into a stance as she rushes towards Zuko. As Zuko is barely able to block it. As she's just going welling over different combinations as she's landing a couple hits. As Zuko counters it as he palm strikes her, going for this the middle of the chest. As Lulu blocks it, as Lulu had to jump backwards as she looks at her arms as it's shaking from the sheer impact of Zuko's punch. Fair warning, Todoroki. I'm not gonna go easy on you. I'm not gonna hold back just because you're a girl. Most appreciated, Zuko. Let's let's start. Let's continue. Zuko nods as they get back into a fighting stance. Immediately, she blasted ice at Zuko to as a diversion. As she blasted ice off or fire from her opposite side. As Izuku sees that, as without moving from the spot, he just moved his body a little to the left. As as the fire goes strictly towards Zuko. As he redirects it using bending, as he shoots her fire right back at her. All Lulu could see is her own fire coming strictly at her as she's trying to create several ice walls to stop the impact from knocking her out of the ring. Immediately, Zuko runs towards the ice wall as he jumps on top of it. And immediately, he throws his breathing heavy as he blows fire out of his mouth as Lulu had to dodge to the side. As Izuku uses time to leap off as he's spinning in air, as he's using a spin kick, igniting fire from his feet. As he hits Lulu, as she goes flying across the ring, sliding across the ring grounds. As that was quite a brutal spinning kick. As Zuko rushed in front of her, as she had enough time to make the cobwebs out of her head, as immediately she grabs onto Izuku's shirt as she knees him into the stomach. As she used her forearm to hit Zuko in the face, as he gets thrown backwards a little bit. We have Momo watching watching the fight as she knows Izuku is taking care of it, and if she does, she's still in it. She hasn't left the ring yet. Shoto's still by the ring. He's sitting on the ground over there as isn't he going a little rough on your sister? Oh no, he's not going. He's fighting my sister. He's going to have to be a little more rougher with her than anyone. If you hold back, yeah, it's not good. As Zuko switched stance, as they circled the ring. Well, they circle each other without looking away. As they do this for a minute or two. Immediately, Zuko charges Lulu as she goes in for a kick. As Zuko, no, sorry. As immediately she goes in for a punch. As Zuko ducks under, as he returns a palm strike, hitting her in the stomach as she goes flying. As Zuko blasts fire at her as she goes flying across outside of the ring. As Zuko wins the match. As when it comes to skill level, yeah, they're around the same level when it comes to fighting technique and all that. But Zuko's had real combat experience. Yeah, he's had real combat fighting different people. And Lulu's only had a random person sparring with her, and mostly her brother, and her father. But that's about it. She's really haven't had any real combat experience. So Zuko had that over her. So that would be a clear victory on his part. He's a lot more he's he's used to fighting people. I gotta say, the boy is impressive. Extremely aggressive. Extremely aggressive. For someone of our family, if the results are accurate. Mr. Iroh, here's the results you wanted. As he had it done fast, as, take a look at the results, Inko. According to this, he is my son. Yeah, we tested the hair sample DNA I was able to get off the boy to the records that he had to put in to even enter the tournament in the first place. What are you gonna do, daughter? Nothing. Nothing yet. I want to observe my son before I confront him. As Zuko walks off the ring, as he goes to check up on Lulu, he did kind of strike her a little hard. As Lulu is just laying there looking at the arena roof. I lost. Damn it. As she looks up at Zuko as he has his hand stretched out for her to grab. As she grabs it, as she's like, I gotta say, Zuko, you're good. You're good. I'll give you that. But the next time we meet, I'm gonna kick your ass. Thanks for the fight. Oh, and I hope I see you around more. As she walks off to check up on her brother, check up on the the noggin he got from Momo. As the three of them, talk with each other, as Zuko just walks off. Hey Zuko, why don't you come over here? As Lulu looks back as she sees, Zuko's gone. Hey Momo, you know where Zuko is? I thought he was just over there a second ago. I only looked away for a second and he's gone. Shoto, do you have his number? Yeah, Momo, I do. Give him a ring. He's walking through the hallways, heading out of the tournament grounds. As he bumps into a man with a suit. Well, sorry, a man wearing a suit. As the man puts a hand on Zuko's shoulder. It's an honor to meet the Dragon of the West. As Zuko looks at him, how do you know that name? You're well known, even outside of Russia. Short note, one of my subscribers, one of the comments, so, I decided, I'm gonna put that into the, story somewhat, so. Don't worry, I'm not here to call you out or anything like that. Actually, considering I saw you at the court channel, I'm quite impressed. The rumors don't do you justice. Dragon of the West. What do you want? Simple. I have a little, tournament of my own, Hush, hush. Then, the type of tournaments you're used to. And I would like to offer you a place. It's a good place to earn a lot of money, more than what these people are, what you've earned from here. Yes, it is frowned upon from the heroes, but it's not like are forced to kill anyone. That's always an option for the people that attend my lovely establishment. As the man gives him an estimate of what he'll get if he even joins this little event. Goes phone goes off, but he shuts it to silent as he puts it back in his pocket. As he as he weighs his options. I'm in. When is it? And where is it located? As the man gives him the directions where it is. Give me about a week or sorry. He's like, give me about 2 weeks to get everything all set up. After all, it's going to take a lot of. I have work to do. Your your name alone will draw in the crowd. We're about to make a whole lot of money, kid. As you have Shoto, Momo, and Lulu as they're peeking around the corner, listening in on their conversation. As Lulu's like, "What is Zuko talking to that scumbag for?" As Momo, "What do you mean? My father's been trying to get evidence on that guy for a long time. He is well known to do shady operations, especially underground fights." Couldn't really hear the whole conversation. All we were able to hear is 2 weeks. Like, what is Zuko going to do in 2 weeks? As yeah, Lulu's She's interested now. She's wondering what is he up to. Shoto's gonna let it go because he likes the guy, but he doesn't know him that much, or sorry, he doesn't know him that well for him to go out of his way like that. So Shoto believes it's none of his business, so he's gonna walk away from it. As Lulu believes, if it must be something shady. As you have Zuko, as he pretty much left. As Lulu, has been shouting him for a little bit. Izuku's too occupied preparing for the underground fights to even notice. As the day finally arrived, well, the night that finally arrived, as Lulu is about to go home for the night, as she sees Izuku leaving his apartment, as she stealthily follows him. As Zuko's going to a bad part of the area, as they get to the underground fights, as she follows Izuku in, as she's wearing something to cover her face, kind of like a hoodie. Unknowns to Izuku, as unknowns to Zuko, even a lot of people here, like everyone here, like, yeah, this place is under a sting operation, as there's several undercover heroes in the crowd. Pro heroes like Eraserhead, Ryoko, the Dragoon Hero, and Mirako. And Endeavor, but he hasn't arrived yet. He will arrive when the operation begins. As Inko is undercover as well. As Zuko meets the boss of this joint, as they tell him where to go and get him all set up. As Lulu watches the interaction, as she sees him go in the back, as she's like, "Are you serious? He's gonna? What the hell? Why is he entering an underground fight?" As that's what her mindset at the moment. She's just confused. He doesn't seem like the type to do this type of. To her, he doesn't seem the type to do this sort of thing. As suddenly there's an announcement of the announcer. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you. A visitor all the way from Mother Russia, the Dragon of the West. Russia's very own Red Dragon of Russia." As the crowd says in unison, as they start chanting, Zuko chanting Zuko over and over again, as the crowd's getting hyped up, as a lot of heroes are confused. As everyone sees a young man walk into the ring casually, with his hands behind his back. As all the heroes, isn't that the kid who won the Cork Blast tournament? What is he doing here? And his challenger, as they announce, Muscular, as he's already killed the water hero, the water hose hero already. This is like sometime after that. So you're the big bad dragon of the West. As Muscular looks at Zuko, and I'm not impressed. This is going to be an easy fight. Immediately, Muscular uses his quirk to enlarge his muscles as he goes to strike Izuku with his fist. As Izuku does a bunch of back somersaults as he's dodging out of the way, as he shoots fire out of his mouth when Muscular gets in there in a firing range, as Muscular has to jump backwards as he's trying to get the fire off his fist. I see muscle fibers. A very interesting power. But you're still gonna lose. As Zuko gets into a different stance that he's no one's seen. Immediately Zuko goes in for a vicious combination using his cryokinesis. As immediately his fist makes impact, he creates a small explosion from each impact, from each skin to skin impact that he made on his strikes. That Muscular grabs him to a bear hug as he begins squeezing him, as Muscular starts laughing. As Zuko, big guy, you're an idiot. As the guy's like, what you mean, kid? You're about to die. As Zuko breathes in heavy, as he breathes fire out of his mouth, as Muscular starts screaming out in pain. Immediately, Izuku ignites his hand as he stabs into Muscular's shoulder, as he overheated his body with his quirk. As he he basically heated his arm as he shoved his fingers into the Muscular's shoulder as he's squeezing down, as Muscular starts screaming even more. As Zuko continuously knees Muscular in the face as he falls down to the ground, as Zuko immediately ignites fire on his fist as he begins pounding Muscular in the face over and over and over again. As the crowd's getting hyped up, as Zuko gets off, as he looks at the crowd, as in sequence, they all said, kill, 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 as they all chant kill. Immediately when Zuko is about to give the killing blow, as suddenly his fist stops moving, as he sees someone grabbing onto his wrist. As Zuko can't tell from this person, but he could tell it's a woman. You have done enough. He's down. There's no reason to kill him. As the announcer's like, who the hell is this? You're interrupting my business. As she pulls out her hoodie, as it's Inko, the Fire Maiden, pro hero Fire Maiden. As immediately all the pros starts to come into action. As a load of police officers come rolling in, as they're pinning everyone down. As Lulu escaped as she decided to leave. If her father catches her here, she'll be in trouble. As she got out just in time. Zuko looks at Inko with a blank expression. You cost me a lot of money, lady. Now, just calm down and surrender peacefully. It'll go a lot easier on you. I don't think so. As Izuku tries to strike Inko, as she dodges effortlessly to the right. As Zuko's attacking her, as he's not making any contact. Say, up close you're pretty good, but you got a lot of work to do. As she kicks him on the back of the leg, as he falls down. As she gives off a grin. As you notice, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cops as Zuko immediately. Sorry, Zuko immediately tosses fire at Inko. As immediately he blasted upwards, ex- ex- going up to the upper level and running through the door. As Inko redirect the blast up in air. I guess he's gonna make me chase him down. As she passes Ryoko. Ryoko, come with me. I might need your assistance. What's going on, Fire Maiden? Well, we're after a young man that has similar eyesight as me. Eye color. If he's anything like me, he's not gonna go down easy. As Ryoko's like, what do you mean by that? Well, I guess you're gonna find out eventually. Considering we're friends and all. Well, found my son. Really? Where? Oh, we're chasing him. What? What? Yeah, apparently. My darling boy, uh, I just recently found. It's involved in some underground work. No wonder he probably has a record. He's probably well known in Russia. There he is. As Izuku sees his Inko and Ryoko following him as he jumps through the window, as he lands onto the pavement, as he books it, as he goes strictly into an alleyway. Immediately, he sees a woman just jumped out of nowhere, landing into the alleyway, blocking his path. That's far enough, kid. Surrender peacefully. You're not going to escape. When he tried to run the opposite way, as fire begins to ignite in the alleyway, blocking his path. As he looks at Ryoko, as she, shrugs. Wasn't me, kid. It's her. As Inka comes down. Well, actually, she walks right through the fire. Give it, you pesky heroes are stubborn. But I'm not going down without a fight. Surrender, kid. Do you heroes apparently like to hear yourself talk? Because no matter how you plead, I'm not gonna surrender. If the only way you're gonna capture me is over my dead corpse. Ryoko, if he tries to escape, put him down. But I'll handle it from here in case he tries to, do something cute. As Inko goes strictly rushing right at Izuku. As Izuku goes in for a kick, as she catches it, as she jabs her finger into Izuku's neck, as she chops in the back of the neck afterwards. As she stops his fire bending, as she knocked him out. As she catches him before she hits the ground. Catches him before he hits the ground. Thanks, Ryoko. No problem, but he's going to have to pay for his crimes. I understand. Even though just find out he's my son, and I reunite with him. He's not going to escape punishment. Come on, let's get him to the police station. As you have several hours has passed, as several cops storm out of the interrogation room, pissed off. As you have Zuko with a blank expression, as he refuses to talk to any of them. Damn, the kid won't talk. The one time we got him to talk, he was talking Russian, and that kind of sounded like an insult. What he said. That's his partner. I know what he said. Yeah, you don't want to know. Fire maiden. Don't worry, officers. I'll take it from here. I'll get him to talk. As Zuko sees the woman that beat his ass, as he's like, "You, what do you want, hero?" I simply want to understand why you did it. Why were you in those sort of death matches? Simple. It's what I'm good at. It's how I survive. I go into these little tournaments. They pay quite a good amount of money. So all you want is money? Of course. If you haven't realized, money makes the world go around. And I have to support myself somehow. Why don't you try to get a normal job? As Zuko starts laughing. Seriously, no. You people here have it so easy. Compared to back home, where you have to struggle for everyday necessities that you just get out of your random grocery store. I'm done talking to you. Book me, send me wherever. Thank you. Now we're getting somewhere. And before you ask, this is my first one I entered in Japan. I'll be frank with you. Zuko, you're in a lot of trouble. Using your quirk out in public and using such quirk in a illegal fighting ground involving a organization that deals with illegal betting. That alone will get you a lot of years. But I was able to get it. Lucky for you, they're going easy on you because of your first offense in Japan. I'm fully aware of your record in Russia, Zuko. And I know, you know, that if we had indict you to Russia, they'll kill you. And as your legal guardian, I have full authority over you. As Zuko, what do you mean, legal guardian? I saw your performance at the Cork Blast tournament, and I had to dig into your records. Well, it's not really any easier to say this, Zuko, but I'm your biological mother. And I have proof. She flops the flyer, oh sorry, the file down. As Zuko opens it up and looks through it, everything here seems legit. As Zuko closes the folder, as he moves it in the middle of the table. Now, my question is, why did you ship me off to Russia? As Zuko, he's firing up. As the officer is about to go in there, as Inko puts her hand up to tell him to stay back. I didn't place you anywhere, Izuku. Oh, sorry. Zuko. You were taken from me. I kept my pregnancy with you a very secret. As a hero, I have a lot of people that would want to get back at me. And and the one thing I fear the most is that they would do something to you. When I came home one night, your grandfather was passed out. Your dad was killed, and you were gone. Whoever did this, they were skilled enough to know my schedule and attacked the moment where I was out majority of the time. So, as she uncuffs him off the table, you're, well, my son, so you're gonna be on house arrest. As you go, what? Yeah, you're on house arrest, young man. You're not going to you're not going to be allowed to leave the matter for a good while. You were lucky that Principal Nezu took a keen interest in you, Zuko, or you definitely would have got jail time. Because when Nezu finds someone with a powerful quirk, he always has to get them in his school. So, as Izuku's school, yeah, you will be attending UA after you graduate high school. And I gotta see what level of education you're at. No, that's not happening. As Inko looks at Izuku, that it is. It is happening, and you can't do nothing about it. Watch me, lady. As she pins him to the wall, listen here. Son, I'm trying to keep you out of jail. So sit down, shut up, and listen to your mother. As Zuko had no choice but to, listen. He's not used to listening to grown-ups. He's not used to that. As he sits down in a chair as Inka's like, thank you. Now, while you're at the matter, you're going to be training with me or your grandfather. It's your grandfather, Iroh. Outside of training, you will be doing chores around the dojo. The adjustment won't be easy. Won't be easy at all. As she gets Izuku released. As Nezu did a lot of Nezu called in a lot of favors to get Izuku, Zuko off. As he's under the watch of, the number 2 hero, the Fire Maiden. So she has a lot of pull in the police force. As she walks with Zuko into a vehicle, as we're going to stop it there. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. I'll catch you in the next video.